Hi guys.
Welcome back to Robertson's Belly Acres.
Welcome.
So today we're kind of doing a real talk. We haven't done one of these videos yet. We talked about a little bit in our last live last week, but that was so chaotic. Our internet was not working well and we had so much stuff going on, so we decided to go ahead and do a real talk live, or real talk without it being live.
Yes.
And then that way maybe it's not so chaotic.
Maybe. Can't guarantee anything. We do have a dog in here, so it could get pretty crazy.
So we're hanging out in our sunroom right now, and we have the best light in here, so.
Yes. And you might notice a few empty boxes here. Might give you a little bit of a spoiler of what's going on.
Yes. So we are going in a whole different direction in our life.
Yes.
We've been talking about this for years, and our original plan was to wait till all three of our children were graduated out of high school before we made any radical changes. Our youngest is a senior in high school this year. Whoop whoop. We have a farm. You guys know this, a big house.
Huge house. Mm-hmm. A little over 6.5 acres. We're just the emptier the house gets, the bigger it gets. Yes. So I'm sure most of you understand that concept.
As is right now, this house is close to 3,000 square feet. It is a 3-bedroom, 4-bath with a sunroom and an extra office space. We literally have, this room is empty other than our bird is in here. We have rooms that are just sitting empty. My parents moved out. They went ahead and got their own place, so they moved out. We've never been this empty before.
It's kind of scary.
Yes, we've always, it's always been the 5 of us, Rusty and I and the 3 kids. And as the kids were getting older and started moving out, we've always had somebody living with us. So whether it be family or friends or whatever, there's always been somebody living with us. So we've always had a full house, and we've always been used to that. So now,
and I want to give you a little backstory real quick. 8 years ago yesterday, we made the big move from the Panhandle of Oklahoma to the Tulsa area. Back then it was the 5 of us against the world, and that's what we told our kids. We didn't know a soul. When we left the Panhandle to move to Cleveland, we knew 0 people, guys. Yeah. We got out there and told the kids we're here to make it happen, and we did. And
it was scary, and Russ and I, since we've been together for 10 years. We have adopted this jump mentality. So we're not the type of people that, we think about things and we hash them out, but we are also the type of people that if we decide something, we jump.
Yep. And
we've done that since we've been together. And sometimes it turns out amazing.
Sometimes not so amazing.
Sometimes we're thinking, what did we do? And when we moved here, when we moved from the Panhandle, that there were a few months in there that we were like, we had no idea. We were making decisions on buying groceries or paying the electric bill. So
there was a point. There was that literally, do we pay our electric bill, or do we go home?
Yeah, we talked about going back home. I grew up in the Oklahoma Panhandle. I am from Hooker, Oklahoma. Shout out to all my Hookerites. I never realized that was a funny name until I moved away. I graduated from Guyman High School, so we moved to Guyman when I was 13, and I lived there until 8 years ago. So that's my home. The Oklahoma Panhandle is my home. I've never really traveled much. I moved to Texas when I was 18, and I lived in Texas for about 2 or 3 months, and then came back to the Oklahoma Panhandle. So that was my home. And Rusty, he was in the Navy. He did a lot of traveling. He saw the world. He's lived in a lot of places. And as an adult, I lived in a lot of places as a child because my parents were migrant workers and followed crops, but I don't remember any of that. So for us to move somewhere where we didn't know anyone was a huge leap, especially for me, because I was comfortable and I knew I had support and family and friends and people I grew up with right there in the same town. And so, but we made that decision and we moved, and it was probably the best thing for us as a family.
No safety net.
Yeah.
Just us.
And if you guys, we are a blended family, and we're lucky enough to have amicable relationships with the children's other parents.
Yes.
So I had 2 children from a previous marriage. Rusty had a son from a previous marriage, and so when we got together, we assumed the roles as mom and dad in our household. Not that we were taking over anybody's role in their life. We were so happy that we were able to co-parent throughout the children's lives, and saying that so much so that Amos's mom and I, we talk to each other almost daily. I mean, sometimes and it not about the kids. We're calling each other about diet tips and
recipes.
Have you seen the latest? So we were lucky enough that we were able to co-parent, but being able to move away and at the 5 of us against the world, I think it made the transition for the kids easier too.
Yes.
Because our 3 kids have a really close bond, and yeah, they fight, and
They're siblings.
And so, but even now, Allie, our oldest, just turned 21. Amos, our 19-year-old.
It's impossible.
Our 19-year-old, he lives on his own as well. She lives on her own. He lives on his own. He went and picked her up and took her out for supper for her birthday. I mean, they have a close bond, and I think that comes a lot in the decisions that we made 8 years ago when we moved and we decided to be the 5 of us against the world.
Absolutely.
So there's the backstory of kind of who we are and what we do. Another idea of jump is Rusty bought a commercial lawn care business 5 years ago, just jumped. And I honestly, he said, he started talking to me about he was going to buy this business. He was already
I honestly didn't think the bank, I thought when I went to the bank they'd say, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Move along.
Yes, he was already working for the guy.
Tell me
And I honestly thought, okay, whatever, whatever floats your boat, man, because at this point I was a banker. My career was being a banker. I was a personal banker by the time he bought the business. And so, I'm like, hey, make your dreams happen. Do what you want to do. And he bought the business in 2015, and the business exploded. Like, he started growing so fast that there was no possible way I could stay at the bank. And, he would have had to hire people to run the office and run things. So we made a decision for me to leave the bank and help him run his business.
Yeah, we went that first year when we bought the business, we bought the equipment and 7 contracts. The next year we bought the remaining 50% of the business, 7 more contracts. We picked up more contracts. We had 2 crews, 2 5-man crews running.
2 trucks, 2
2
rigs.
trucks, two full rigs. We had 55 commercial lawn care lot contracts and 11 residentials. And it wouldn't have been so bad if they were in this area, but we were scattered out over a quarter of the state.
Yes.
And we did a lot of travel.
So we made the decision. I left a 12-year career to jump with Russ
Yes.
in the business, and then we grew so rapidly that we couldn't keep up, if that makes sense. we could not keep up, and so we had hired help and stuff, but it just got too crazy, and
It was too much.
yes, it was too much too fast.
Yes.
So last year, we made, at the end of the mowing season, we made a decision to, actually before the end of the mowing
To
season.
jump again.
Yes, so probably in June of last year, because we have to turn in
We have to
bids.
bid our properties
Yes.
every year.
So we have to turn in our bids in June. So we made the decision in June last year. So that would have been right in the middle of our mowing season last year. We made the decision to cut way back.
Way back.
So we only bid enough properties for Russ and I to handle without hiring help. So the employee aspect of it is so much better. The stress is not there, because during the rainy season, when you can only work 1 or 2 days a week, that's a lot of stress on the business owner, because we know that the people that we have hired to work for us are not getting the hours, and we can't,
If
hire.
we're not giving them the hours, then they're not making the money, and if they're not making money, and just like with any job, they have to go where they can make money, and we can
Right.
never hold that against them.
Right, or if our equipment is broke down. Right now we're sitting. Rusty is going to work on the truck today because we have been literally pulling the trailer at 40 miles per hour for the last week because he has to replace an injector on it. So that's in his to-do list today. So had we had employees like in the past, we would have been saying, look, I wish we could go to work, but we can't.
Right.
And that's hard on them. And if we're not making money, they're not making money, and it's just
a snowball.
so stressful. So we made the decision to cut way back. In this decision, we have decided also to cut back in our lives.
Yes, we have made the decision. We want to actively start moving towards financial freedom.
Financial freedom and self-sustainability.
Yes, and as everybody knows from watching our videos, we have 6 different gardens. We're doing everything we can to raise our own vegetables. We have our own meat. We have cattle and pigs and goats, and chickens. And so in our adventure, our quest, I guess, to become self-sustainable and debt-free,
Yes.
we have decided to sell the farm, and we are actively looking for someplace to rent at this time, and which I'm sure will mean probably moving to town, which is not really what we want, but it's what falls into our plan, because if we can sell the farm, we will take that money, of course, pay off all the debt that we can, and we will be able to pay off a lot of debt, continue to make the large mortgage payment to ourselves to start putting that money away, so that within 2 years we will be able to go buy land and start actively building a house and barns and fences and
And do it debt-free.
get all out on our own without the debt, and just self-sustainable.
Right. So basically we're hitting a reset button. 10 years in.
Yep.
years of our crazy life, and we have built and moved and done things that we never thought we would be able to do. We're business owners. We've owned a farm. We've learned so much living here. We've learned, I mean, I could never grow a vegetable. I was that give me flowers kind of girl. I mean, I was a corporate ladder climber. We have processed our own animals. We have raised our own food. We've learned so much here, and we are just hungry for more. And yes, our farm is beautiful. It's gorgeous, and I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. Anybody who has ever come here just loves this farm and loves the view, and it's beautiful. But if we held on to the farm, we're locked into, well, overall a 30-year mortgage on a really high payment. That's not what we want.
No.
We want to, it's not what we want anymore.
Right. When we moved out here, this was our forever home. Mm-hmm. This is where we were going to retire.
Well, and in our mind at that time was, we made it. We have made it.
Right.
And just everything has shifted for us. We're not the same people we were 4 years ago when we moved onto the farm. We have our goals are different, and
I know some people are going to say, well, they've decided to go back to, they're trying to be something they're not. And honestly, I feel like we're trying to go back to our roots.
Right.
We're going back to taking care of ourselves, quit relying on somebody. And when I say relying on somebody, I'm talking about Walmart and all the grocery stores. Let's go back to relying on ourselves and our neighbors. Let's start helping our neighbors and start taking care of each other the way that we were meant to be.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with having a mortgage, and there's nothing wrong with having nice cars, and there's nothing wrong with any of that lifestyle. It's just not the lifestyle we want to live anymore.
Right.
So we struggle a little bit because I know, we have friends and family. Most everybody in our life is supportive. We do have a few people that are like, what are you thinking? This is crazy. You're stepping backwards. You're moving backwards. Yes, we are going to have to rent a house for 2 years. And more than likely, we're going to rent a trailer house for 2 years.
And I'm good with that.
And I am too. And
as
that's
long as
the
we've
thing.
got a roof over our head,
Yes.
we can stay warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
And we are doing it to better ourselves. So we feel like we are taking a huge step forward. And this is our 5-year plan.
Yes.
And so we talked about it back and forth, rather if we wanted to share this or not. And we decided that we did want to share this with you guys, and take you along.
Take you along with us, and so that way you can see the steps we're taking, and we'll be informing you of why we chose the avenue we did. And there's going to be a kind of a change in some of the videos we're making because we won't have the animals to take care of most likely for a couple years. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if our journey can teach anybody, then it's been worth it.
Yep.
We're trying to teach our kids that you don't have to be the atypical person and do exactly what everybody else is doing. We have had a few people say, oh, you're on the homesteaders movement. We were moving more towards homesteading before homesteading was cool.
Yeah. So honestly, it's going to be hard to get rid of all the animals. We're of course keeping Mayday, my dog, our dog. I have to remember to say our dog. He's my dog when he's being good. Like right now, he's asleep, so he's being.
That's when he's my dog.
And then Rusty's bird, Frank, and I'm sure you can hear him in the background. He just keeps saying peekaboo, Frank. So, but all of the livestock we are going to go ahead and sell. We have the chickens and the pigs and the goats and Rosie,
the cattle
the
we're
donkey.
going to be able to keep.
We will be able to keep the cattle, the two.
The cow-calf pair they're going to be relocated. to my brother-in-law's farm.
Yep, my brother is going to keep them.
He's going to keep them for us and feed them. We're going
Brother and sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Joe and Lori, they are awesome.
They're gonna take put them out on their pasture and feed them and everything. We will continue to buy feed and take to them so that they have feed in exchange for meat when the calf is old enough to butcher. So there again, that's that horse trading, I guess that's what I like to call it. I've got a need, you have a way to fulfill it. Let's figure out how to make this happen. And that's what life's all about, in our opinion. We do a lot of trading, a lot of seed swaps, a lot of horse trading, and that's the way we make a lot of things happen around here. People are saying, I had a person tell me the other day, I can't believe you're leaving your home. I'm not leaving a home. I'm leaving a house.
That's it.
We're leaving a place. Home is where we hang our hat, and our home is where we're living. You know, we both, like Rachel said, she grew up moving a lot as a very young child. My dad was in the oil field. We moved quite a bit. I mean, home is where you make it, and our kids know that home is where mom and dad are at.
That's it. That is it exactly. So, so that's our story, and that's what we wanted to kind of let you guys in on what we're planning, what we're doing. I've got to get started on packing, and we've got a lot of repairs and things to do. Not repairs, but small things.
Small things we've got to
some
do.
Stuff painted and stuff like that, because we are listing on August 1st. So
August 1st, and today is the 17th.
Yeah, so we are rapidly running out of time. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. And so we've got to get things packed up. We've already rented a storage unit.
I'll be hauling boxes to storage.
We want to get.
Good Lord willing, this evening. My other brother-in-law Felix is coming over today to help me work on my truck and get it going. Once we get it done, hopefully I can start hauling boxes to the storage unit and then come in and help Rachel do some more packing.
Yes, so we'll get things cleaned up and packed up and moved out of here, so then we can get the house on the market, and our realtor can get over here and get pictures taken, or have her photographer come take pictures, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. So hey, if anybody is in our area, Tulsa area, and is looking for a farm, you can't beat the views here. And I mean, you can ask anybody that's been out here, you can't beat the views at this farm. So anybody looking, just send them our way. All right, you guys, so please, if you like our videos, please hit the like button.
Subscribe if you haven't already, because
Maybe it's
that was not an earthquake, I promise. That was just the dog. If you haven't already, subscribe, leave comments. We want to know what you guys are thinking, what kind of videos you think that, in your opinion, you'd like to see us doing throughout this transition. And
share with your friends and smash that bell, and until next time, God bless.
see ya.
This is a 3-bedroom, 4-bath with an office and sunroom. It has 3 patios and a deck. It is on 6.69 acres with a 4-car garage and wood shop. It has a greenhouse, a runoff pond, chicken coops, 6 garden areas, in-ground sprinkler system, goat pens already established. If anyone in the Tulsa area or is interested to moving to the Tulsa area, we will be listing this house on August 1st. We can do a showing before then. Just message us on our Facebook page.